If you're still delivering your service manually, you're losing about $1,600 per day. Not because you're bad at what you do, and not because you don't work fucking hard, but because every hour you spend repeating the same process over and over again is an hour you can't spend growing. And the kicker, most people don't even realize it. So let me walk you through the math that nobody shows you. You built a successful service business through sheer force and hard work. You deliver results, your clients are happy, and revenue is good. But you are literally maxed out. You can't take more clients while hiring more people. And every day literally feels like pushing a rock uphill. And deep down, you know this isn't sustainable, this isn't scalable, you're exhausted, and you're scared this is as good as it gets. Well, let's do the math. Your time is worth $200 an hour. That's conservative for a business owner who's already successful. You spend 4 hours per day on repeatable processes and tasks, and you do that 250 days a year. That's $200,000 of your time. But that's just the surface of the problem. The real cost is opportunity. The deals that you couldn't take because you were buried in those everyday repeatable tasks. The strategy you didn't do because you were stuck in the weeds. The growth initiatives you delayed because you were managing people. The sleep you lost because you are the bottleneck. When you stack it up, the real number is closer to 600 to almost $1 million a year in lost potential. That's 1,600 to 2,700 per day. I had a client making 150,000 a month. Exceptional on paper, but he was working 80 to 90 hours a week, never had downtime with his family, and couldn't take a vacation. He asked me, when does it get easier? And that's the emotional cost, the exhaustion, the guilt of working this hard while your family suffers, and the fear that you have now built yourself a prison. And this doesn't just affect you. It hits your team, your business, and again, your family. On your team, staff burn out doing the same repetitive work. Quality varies because it depends on who's actually delivering, and your best people leave because they're not learning. Training takes forever because everything is in your head, and the team stays stressed because everything feels urgent. And on your business, revenue can't scale without cost scaling too. Client experience is inconsistent, and you can't take time off without the business wobbling. And your business isn't worth much on paper because it depends entirely on you. On your family, you're missing milestones, kids events, dinners, trips. Your partner is tired of competing with your business. Your health is slipping, you've got stress, no sleep, and constant anxiety. Vacations get interrupted by client emergencies, and even when you're winning, you still feel like you're failing at home. I know a founder who missed their kid's graduation because a client needed something, and that was the moment they realized the business they built to provide for their family was actually stealing time from their family. And the false belief here is simple. To grow, I just need to hire more people. But the truth, people-based scaling is the most expensive and fragile way to grow. Every person you add adds complexity, overhead, and risk. The principle is this: software creates leverage and not just automation. It's not about replacing people, it's about freeing them from repetitive work so they can focus on what humans do best: judgment, creativity, relationships, and problem solving. At Shopify, I saw this firsthand. Millions of merchants using software we built once, maintained by hundreds of engineers, not thousands. That's leverage. A service business scales one-to-one. One client at a time. Software scales 1 to 1 million. Build once, serve millions. And here's the reframe. You don't have to become a software company. You can augment your service business with software to handle the repeatable parts. Your expertise is valuable, but right now you're spending 80% of your time on the 20% of work that could be systematized. Software can handle things like intake and onboarding, data collection and processing, scheduling and reminders, basic analysis and reporting, deliverables and follow-ups. And that leaves you to focus on the important parts: strategy, customization, high-touch relationships, innovation, training your team, and actually growing your business. Here's the math that changes everything. If you're making $150K a month in revenue with 30 clients, 80 hours per week, with a 5-person team, that's 30% margin, and the business value is somewhere between 3.6 to 5.4 million. With software leverage, you get that same revenue, same clients, but your hours drop to 20 a week, your team drops to 3, margins double to 60%, and your business value jumps from 9 to 18 million, in and around there. Same revenue, triple the profit, quadruple the valuation, and a quarter of the stress. At Brex, I helped build systems that scaled billions in transactions. And at Shopify, I built features used by millions. I've seen what leverage does, and the same principles work at your scale, just applied differently. When you build leverage through software, your life changes. You work 20 to 30 hours a week instead of 80. You take real vacations without emergencies. You sleep through the night without anxiety. You have energy again. You spend your time on strategy instead of firefighting, and you enjoy your business again. You feel proud instead of trapped. I had a client who productized their consulting into software. They went from 70-hour weeks to 25. They took their real first vacation in 5 years, and their partner said, "It feels like I got my spouse back." That's the identity shift. From service provider trading time and money to business owner running a system that works without you. And when you change, everything around you changes. On your team, staff are freed from repetition. They focus on creative, strategic work, they learn new skills, they stay longer, and they're proud again to work for you. On your business, you serve more clients with less overhead, quality is consistent, and you can take risks because operations aren't fragile. The business becomes a valuable asset instead of just a job, and investors and acquirers actually want it. On your family, you're home for dinner, present on vacation, energized with your kids, proud of what you've built, building generational wealth instead of just cash flow. And in the bigger picture, you become the operator who figured it out, the one that other business owners look to and say, "I want what they have." Here's what I want you to do. Open up your calendar, count how many hours this week you spent on work you've done before. Work that looked exactly like last month. Now multiply it by $200 an hour, and that's what staying manual is costing you just this week. Multiply that by 50 weeks, and that's your annual cost. Now ask, what if I could free up 50 to 75% of that time, and what would I do with it? That's the real question. If you want to find out, book a strategy session with me. The link is in the description. In 90 minutes, I'll show you exactly which parts of your process can be systematized, what your business could look like with software leverage, and the roadmap to get there. This isn't about building an app. This is about building a business that can scale without killing you. Let's figure out if software leverage makes sense for you, and if it does, how to build it.